Hi everyone, I'm Sean Smith. I'm a general contractor and I'm here to show you how to install GoBoard. If you've never tiled anything before, you might not know that you need a durable, waterproof surface under your tile called a tile backer board. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to get your space completely ready for tile with a new product from John's Manville. This is GoBoard. It's extremely durable, but it's about 80% lighter than traditional cement backer boards. That means it's easier to carry, plus it cuts cleaner than cement boards, so it's also easier to clean up your workspace after you're done. GoBoard is also great because it's inherently waterproof, which means fewer products to buy and less time to install. Let's get started. This is the bathroom that I'll be tiling. I'm focusing on the walls of the shower and the surrounding floor today, but GoBoard can be used in all kinds of tiling applications around the home, including the kitchen, laundry room, the basement, and of course, everywhere in your bathrooms. It can go into commercial buildings as well. Basically, you can use GoBoard anywhere you want to tile. First, I'm going to measure the space and create my project plan. A project plan is a great way to keep yourself organized. I'm going to take the measurements of the area that I'm going to tile and keep track of them on my project plan drawing. Now that I have my measurements, I can fill out my shopping list so I can make sure to buy everything I need in one trip. Let's start with GoBoard. GoBoard comes in two sizes, 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. The 1/2 inch board is for walls, showers, ceilings, and floors. Use the 1/4 inch boards for the floors and countertops. Today, I'm going to be using the 1/4 inch board for the floors and the 1/2 inch board for the walls. And I need either galvanized roofing nails or backer board screws, dry set mortar, and polyurethane sealant to fasten, bond, and seal GoBoard. To complete your shopping list, you'll need to make sure you have the right tools in addition to your products. You can download the full installation instructions and product list from jm.com. I've already done some prep work to this shower that you'll need to do before you start your project. I removed all the fixtures, nearby electrical outlets, trim, the old tile, and setting materials. You can see that I'm down to the wall studs and insulation and the subfloor. Evaluate your wall studs and subfloors. You're looking for signs of mold and if you need to make any repairs. Ensure your subfloor is in good condition and replace any sections as needed. Check for any squeaks or loose boards and install additional fasteners as needed. You might need to shim or replace your studs if they're bowed so you have a completely flat wall. And if your studs are spaced greater than 16 inches on center, you need to add additional studs. To prep for shower pan installation, follow the manufacturer's instructions for the drain location and any wall prep. You also might need to reroute plumbing and electrical if you've changed the layout of your room. Finally, you'll need to mask the doorway and your studs once all of the prep work is done and turn off power to the room. If you have any questions about what you need to do to safely prep your space, please ask a professional. Now that all the prep is done, I can get started. First, I'll measure for the first board placement to ensure it fits snugly at the base up against the shower pan. You might have to make some adjustments depending on what kind of shower pan you're using, but just follow the shower pan instructions. Take your piece of GoBoard and lay it on any flat and durable surface, like this vanity. Then measure it and draw your cut line with a pen or pencil. Whatever you have handy will work just fine. Score your line with your utility knife. Bend the board at the edge of your surface and snap off the piece you need. Now, I'll position the first piece along the corner wall of the shower and pre-mark my stud position so I know where to attach it. Then I'll take my polyurethane sealant and apply it to the bottom edge of my piece of GoBoard, then fasten it to the studs at the wall base. I need to apply enough of it so that it squeezes out at the side when I fasten GoBoard to the stud. I'll show you why in a minute. Take a look at the dot pattern on GoBoard. That tells me which way faces outward. Today, I'm going to use a drill and backer board screws to fasten GoBoard to the studs, but you can also use a nail gun if you have wood studs. If you use a drill, remember to use 1 1/4 inch backer board screws. If you decide to use a nail gun, you can use 1 1/2 inch galvanized roofing nails instead. Now I'm going to fasten my GoBoard to the studs. Make sure your nails or screws are flush with the surface of the GoBoard. They need to be a maximum of 6 inches apart and within a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of the edge. If you use a nail gun, be sure to use a lower pressure setting so the nails don't break through the top facer. It's normal for some nails to be raised above the board surface, so just hammer them flush. Next, I'm going to do a circular cut to go around my plumbing. It's the same process as a straight line. Measure for placement and location around your fixtures. Then, place the GoBoard on your flat surface. Measuring and drawing a circular cut line is a little trickier than a straight edge, but you can make dots to form the size of the circle you need, then complete it with your pen. You can also use a compass to get a more precise round shape. Cut GoBoard with your utility knife using multiple passes to cut through the board. Be sure to do a dry fit of your cut GoBoard pieces, especially around fixtures, before you put the polyurethane sealant on. To attach my next piece of cut GoBoard, I first need to apply my polyurethane sealant to the top edge of the first board using enough sealant to squeeze out. Position the second piece and butt it against the first board, leaving a small gap of approximately 1/8 of an inch. Then nail or screw in place. Remember, GoBoard is inherently waterproof, but any edge and place where the nails or screws go in must be sealed to protect the whole system against water damage and mold. Now I'm going to take my putty knife and spread the excess sealant on the top and bottom edges of the first board to get a tight seal. Do that for every edge, joint, and fastener location. Double check all joints and fastener locations to ensure you have complete coverage and no small pinholes. That's it! You just have to keep repeating this process until your entire wall surface area to be tiled is finished. Now I'll show you how to fasten GoBoard to floors. It's important to do a pre-check and make sure your fits are good with the GoBoard. And the best thing about this product, there's no extra steps. It's one cut with a utility knife. With something like a cement backer board, you'd have to get a grinder, you'd be making a ton of mess. But with this, there's only one piece of scrap and no waste, no mess to clean up. For floors, before you attach GoBoard, there's the added step of applying thin-set mortar directly to any clean, dry, and flat subfloor. I'm going to mix my mortar until it's the consistency of peanut butter. This is what I'm looking for. Now, I'll take my notched trowel and apply and comb the mortar. I just want to apply enough at a time for one piece of GoBoard. Otherwise, it'll set up before I can get the board down. Then, take your piece of GoBoard and press it into the mortar. Be sure to leave an 1/8 inch space between all the corners and edges to help prevent cracks due to movement in the structure after tiling. Next, I'm going to fasten the GoBoard to the floors using the same method as the walls, either backerboard screws or roofing nails. However, if you have a concrete floor, you can skip this step. After I'm done fastening GoBoard to my entire floor surface, I'm going to make sure my joints, edges, and fastener locations are waterproofed. So we're using mesh tape here to tie the two boards together to make it one structural system. And one good tip here, when you're putting the mortar down, you want it nice and flat so it doesn't make any protrusions when you're putting tile down. I'm going to take my liquid waterproofing membrane and my paintbrush and apply 2 heavy coats that extend at least 1 inch beyond the mortar. Be sure to follow the manufacturer instructions for drying times between coats and tiling. Inspect the coverage after each coat to make sure there are no holes or gaps. Even the smallest pinhole can result in a leak. Well, that's it. We're done. As you can see, it's easy to complete a tile project with GoBoard, whether you're working on a new house or giving a facelift to your current home.